Hello everyone, welcome back to AU Matrix. In today's video, I am going to show you how to validate incoming data in Node.js using Joy. Validation is one of the most important parts of building APIs. It keeps your server safe and prevents invalid data from entering your system. Before we start, there are so many validation libraries out there in Node.js, but honestly, Joy is one of the easiest and cleanest for backend developers. It is a schema-based, powerful, and perfect for Express apps. So today, let's learn Joy in the simplest way. Let's get started. First, I will create one folder inside the API folder called validation. Inside, I will create one file user.validation.js. Okay. First, we will test here how Joy works. Let me install Joy npm I Joy. Joy is a library. I have installed Joy. So we'll use const joy is equal to require of joy. Next, I will create a one function to validate the incoming data. The function name will be const. Let us say the function name as create user is equal to joy dot object. Okay, so we are using our joy and we are validating a object data. So let us say we need a name and this name should be string, and we'll say it should have minimum 3 characters and maximum up to 25 characters, and it should be required. Okay, and next one we'll say age. This age is a number and minimum should be 1 and maximum should be 100. This is also required. Let's check only for these two first. Next, I will create another one function to check this is working fine or not. Const validating is equal to, will pass the data which is required, means which is comes from our API body as a payload. This is an arrow function, and const will check error comma value, will check it is validated or not. Create user, I am using this function, and dot validate. So, and I need to pass a payload here. I'm passing my incoming data, and here we can use so many options. This is coming from Joy. We can use about early, it may be a false or true. If it is false, then it will check both the restrictions, means if the name is not present, it won't stop and it won't throw error here itself. It will check for age also, right? If about early is true, then if the name is not present, then it will throw error itself here itself only. It won't check the age one. So we can use false or true, anything, and we can use stripe unknown. True means we are validating only for name and age. If something came, let us say if date of birth came here, we won't throw any error, means date of birth is not required, like that we are not throwing. We will, what we will do, we will stripe the unknown value, and we can use one more, convert. Convert as true or false, maybe, means this age is number. If something came, means if something came in string, someone returned age as 23. It will auto convert to 23. For this we use convert, but we have to validate it should be a number from the incoming only, so we'll use as false. Don't convert, whatever the data coming and the data type should be same what we are needed. And this much, these options are pretty coffee, and if you want you can use more also. So next we will check if it is an error, then we'll log error dot details. Okay, and after error got will return. If we get any error, we'll return and we'll log the details of that error. If nothing came, then we'll log the value validated, and we'll return the value. Okay, next we'll call this function, but we need to send a payload, right? Let us consider, let me create some dummy data. Data is equal to name John and age is 30, and here I will pass data. Okay, let me run this file. This is user validation, so cd space api and again cd space validations. Here we'll run node user validation.js. So this is got validated and it is returning the data. So we'll check it is perfectly working or not. Let me remove some two characters. As we have mentioned, we need minimum 3 characters and we are passing 2 characters from the body, and we'll run again. So it returns error. Name length must be at least 3 characters, but we don't need this much of data, we need only the message. So what we will do, we'll map to the message m dot message, and we'll join all the error messages, and this is it. So if I rerun, it is returning name length must be at least 3 characters long. And if I return JON and age as in string, it will throw age must be a number. Okay, if I make this convert as true, then it will throw error, I think. No, it won't throw error because it will converting this string to a number. It is converting. So if I make this as false, it is strictly checking the data type also, like this. And if I make let's say, let me add here also, if I am sending any empty body, it is also required, means the body should be required, I'm adding here. And if I am passing an empty body, so it will throw error, name is required and age is required. Okay, it is showing for both, because about early is false, means it is checking all the conditions. If I make about early as true, so it will throw only one error, name is required and it is not checking for age. If I make it as false, then it will check for both. Skip unknown, we'll test skip unknown, is it working fine or not. This is age name and we need to pass here data, and so currently what it is returning, age must be a number. Okay, currently it is returning name and John. Let me add a date of birth, DOB as 30/05/2005. So what will return? Only the name and age. It is not returning the date of birth because we have added one condition, stripe unknown as true. If I make it as false, it will return date of birth also. Okay, date of birth is not allowed. It is fine. Okay, here we are validating, so it won't accept. uh, why we are using stripe unknown means because if we are getting more data also it is fine, but we want to use only the data which is we required, so we need to keep stripe unknown as always true because we don't need to throw error if we are getting more data. So we'll keep stripe unknown as true always, and about early as also true always if something got error, and we'll throw error there itself. Otherwise we can make it false also. We can show all the errors at a time, and we need to make this convert as false before we need, because we need to validate the data type also. Okay. Last time we are testing, this is it. If we need to use it in API means like the same only we can use. So I have an API. Let me test in controller. Okay. What I'll do, I will pass error or value and create user. We'll call this create user join. We'll export this module.exports is equal to create user, and let me import create user and payload, and we need to pass a payload. The payload will be, we are passing with payload body. This body needs to contain name and age. If it is not contained, it will throw error. Currently we are using this as get API. Let me change this to post so we can send some data in our body. Let me go to postman. Okay. If I hit this, oh, okay, my server is not running. Cd space dash dash cd space dash dash npm run dev. And if I go back and if I hit, okay, this get is not present. Let me add post, and we are getting the data and it is not validating. Let me save. Not saved. Okay, because we are not handling this error. Let me handle this error. Okay, we'll copy this from here. We'll go to controller, and if we are getting any error, we'll log the error and will it return in a response. And this should be bad request 400 and no data, and the message will be the same message, and it will return here itself. So let me test now. It is saying value is required means some field is required. Let me add name as AU. And if I run, name length must be at least 3 characters long and age is required, it is saying. So if I make AUY and age as 30, if I keep it in string, it should throw an error. Age must be a number. If I remove, it will call the API. This is how we are validating the incoming data. Like this we can validate our data, and after validating we can use the value in our API. Okay, here let me return both value and user, so you will get to know what and all we are getting. The value we are getting is name and age, what we are sending from here, and the user. If you want to validate the date from the joy, we need to use date joy. There is one more package, let me download it, that is also important. npm I @joy slash date. Okay, then we need to change something here. Const base joy is equal to require joy, and const joy date is equal to require joy date joy slash date, and the joy will be base joy dot extend to joy date. We are extending this joy to joy date, and we'll use here dob joy dot date, and dot we need a format should be dd and yyyy. This is also required. So if I call the API now, it will throw DOP is required. Server is not running. Let me check. I'm getting an error. REQUIR. Okay. I use this. Okay. See, it is throwing error. DOB is required. If I add DOB and I passed some number, it will throw format is mismatched. DOB is a valid date. Okay, so let me pass some date 30 and date, month as 35 and year as 2025. So it will throw must be a valid date. Why it is not throwing format error? Joy dot date format ddmmyy. So date, month and year must be a valid date. Hmm. It should throw the error joy dot date dot format required. Format is ddmmyy. It is the correct date only. Just here itself. Let me run cd space API cd space validations. Not the validation DOB must be a valid date. So we have added the date here. Why it is not validating? 12 12 2. I found the issue, guys. Why? Because we are not getting, we require this format because we have made this convert as false. If we make this convert as true, then we will get the proper error. Data was must be a in this format. So let me check in our postman what we are getting. Here we are getting date must be a valid date. So here also we need to make convert as true. If I test, so it will say this format we required, and month date will be now. This should process. Yes, it is processing. This is it, guys. I hope this video is helpful. Thank you.